Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. This is the Eve's Eden show, and we're doing Love Life with Eve to help you love your life more and feed your intimate relationships. So, this is a story that might take me about 10 or 15 minutes to share with you. Get a cup of coffee and settle down. This is about your impact on planet Earth, and I'm going to share with you a time period when I was working as an exotic dancer for about 6 years of my life, on and off. And this is not a story about how great it is to do crazy things, or how glamorous and gorgeous I once was, or how brave you can be. This is not about that. This is a story that I've been sharing with myself in an intimate way because the angels came to me in a dream the other night and said, Eve, you have to face the impact you had in that time period when you were exotic dancing. And they made me sit down at the music at the theater with a big screen in front of me. This is in my dream, okay? I'm in my dream, and there's an angel, a white angel, on either side of me, and they say, get ready. You're going to have to watch vignettes of your time period as a stripper. Oh my God, I do not want to see it. I'm like, can I get out of this? Do I have to watch this? Can I wait till I die? Like, do I have to watch this now? Why now? But they're like, the movie starts. And the first vignette is not what I thought. I'm thinking that time period, I was young, I was so brave, I was exploring my heterosexuality and my expressiveness as a dancer and my sensuality. And that's what it was all about. It was about survival. The thing is, the vignette that the angels share with me is a moment backstage when I am with Maria. I'm just giving her that name. She is a young Latina mother with 2 kids at home, her grandmother taking care of them. She was basically supporting the family with her stripping, young girl. And she's vomiting, right? She's had so many drugs that given to her on stage, backstage, everywhere. She is throwing up. And I am catching her throw up with Dixie cups, one after another, they're filling up, and I'm rubbing her back, and I'm calming her down, and I say to her, Maria, I have to take you home. You cannot drive like this, and you're not safe here in this condition with all these people who would want to take advantage of her, So I take off from my shift. I just blow it off. I get her into my car. Now, Maria is so bombed, she can barely give me the directions to her house. But after a long, crazy drive through the city, we do come to a little cottage in a really scary part of town. And it's really late at night. And I see her wobble in her heels and her her stripper outfit into the house. And there's a little light on. And I'm like, oh my God, she's safe. She's okay now. And now I'm lost in the city. I've got to get home. I have hardly any gas. I do not know where I am. Those are the days before cell phones and GPSs, and it is a harrowing ride home. I I didn't even have my tips from the night to get gas, but I made it home with the just barely with the red light on, the gas light is showing, and I slide into my home. That's the first vignette that the angels show me. Wow, that wasn't what I was expecting to see. And they show me the alternate destiny of Maria is that she would have died that night. If she had kept going and people had been taking advantage of her, or she had driven home. And I've saved her life. Okay, next vignette. I'm dancing on stage. I am in a Kundalini Shakti, like total enjoyment of dancing in my red lace, my red heels. Oh my God, I'm having so much fun. But then all this cocaine is being thrown at my feet in little bags. And I kind of look at it and I nudge it with my heel and I just kick it to the side. And then they start throwing more at me. And so I decide to just ignore it, which I did with countless temptations the angels showed me for the lap dances, for the prostitution, for the big stag parties, for the being like a courtesan of the rich guys who will like tip you $50 bills, pouring money over you. I just resisted all of it. I just had the decision. I was there to dance. I wanted to get money for dancing around in my underwear. Oh, sorry. That's so stupid, right? But that's what I was doing. And I absolutely, I just resisted every single negative temptation, everything about that life, which is extraordinarily dangerous. And if you have any kind of drug addiction, you can really be pulled under into alcohol and countless nefarious things if you really are tempted by money. Okay, next vignette. So that's the next thing they show me. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Huh. Who am I? What's my impact on the planet? This is interesting. Then they show me a vignette of me like when I'm starting out dancing and I'm like, I refuse to wear heels. I refuse to wear an outfit. I'm just going to dance naked in my bare feet like a hippie chick. And the boss is like pulling me aside and he's like, this will not work. And you have to shave your armpits. And I'm like, no, I like the wild thing. I like the wild side of the feminist. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, feminism is not going to work like that in this job. All right, next vignette. I'm in the alleyway. And I have asked the bouncer to protect me because it's a dangerous alleyway. It's the alleyway behind the strip club. And the bouncer comes out and he starts molesting me instead. So I push him off. I go back in the club. I'm like, shit, that didn't work. I'm going to have some kind of inner protection here, some kind of savvy, like it's not about asking others to protect me. So I go back to dancing. And I'm watching the most beautiful goddesses of the whole world. To me, like, I am worshiping these women. Like, I cannot believe how lucky I am to see them dancing in their erotica, where I would never see this, never know about it. Like, and in those days, it was women of all races, all body shapes, all body colors, skinny, fat, old, young, and every archetype, every character, the cowgirls and the dominatrix and the mermaid and the Barbie doll and and they're all their own, and the gypsy mama, and they're all like in their own erotic fixation of how they feel most sexy. And I am just so moved. I am absolutely moved. I cannot believe how lucky I am, and I totally understand why the men have those expressions on their faces and are throwing money, because they are in awe. And I get this thing where, oh, this is a tantric exchange, that it's something sacred and necessary about it. The erotic feminine in her dance, So I go out to the cars that night and to get my car, and all of the strippers' cars, they have these really fancy cars, big white, like fancy sport cars, and they've all been bashed to bits by the men who were not in the worship mode. So you have these two different kinds of men. The worship mode ones are the one who hate women, or there to hate. And the hate men, jealous or vindictive, had bashed in all of the cars behind the club, except mine, which was this already beat up little hand-painted car with dragons all over it. I guess it looked too pathetic to like take on as as a vendetta. But I understood, oh wow, this is a dangerous place. There's hatred of the feminine, of the sacred feminine, and jealousy over her, and worship of her. And it's a volatile place where the desire for the feminine is such a big longing that the men are tortured by it at times, and at other times fed by it. Okay, now the screen goes blank. The angels are saying, keep watching. Now I see I'm on stage and I'm having this dance where I have let go of all inhibition. and I am in a wild flow. By then I'm going by the rules with all of the fancy costumes and heels and diamonds and all that stuff. It's kind of fun, a lot of fun. I love it. But usually I'm pretty much just doing sort of a routine in a little bit of a shy way. But this particular moment, there's a man there. His name was Michael. I remember him. He was like a big, chubby guy with a huge smile. He was African American. He was with a whole bunch of his friends. And he was just laughing and showering me with money, right? Every one of them. He got all of his friends, his entire end of the club, like pouring money over me. And I'm in this thing where it's not the money. I mean, they're just $1 bills. Come on. It's not even that much. It just feels like it's like a fountain of plenty. and I am loving his love. I'm feeling like there's some sacred exchange I've never experienced before of being worshipped as the divine feminine. And in my dance, I'm honoring him, worshiping him in his divine masculine. And this electrically ecstatic dance joy exchange. He's got all of his friends hooting and hollering, shouting. So ridiculous. So this is my glory moment, right? Because everybody else has their glory moment of being showered with hundreds of $50 bills and taken on a yacht. And I like I said, I refused everything that would lead to that. I was just do my dance, get off stage, and go eat some more snacks. So that's the next vignette. So, the next vignette is actually, okay, yes, I now have money, right? I have money for the first time in my life at the level where I can go out to eat every day. And I do. And I eat everything on every fancy restaurant's menu until I'm basically eating myself out of a job, maybe, except for back then, like I said, they had the chubby girls too. So I'm getting salmon, I'm getting, the rice salads, and I'm getting the exotic lasagnas, and I'm getting crepes and pastries in the morning and big omelets. And I have never been able to do this. And, it's really fun. But one day I come out of a restaurant having eaten my fill and there's Michael, and we recognize each other, and I'm in shock. And the two worlds have not, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm so embarrassed. I don't want the two worlds of the real world and the exotic dance world to meet, because I don't know how they meet. I don't know how to be that ecstatic feminine goddess self in the real world, especially if I'm perhaps leading him astray or away from his real relationship. And I'm so worried that I run for shame. Now, that's sad, I wish I had just acknowledged him and thanked him, for making me feel so honored and loved. But this is the way it is. Like, these are the real vignettes that the angels are showing me. And one of the next ones is that there's this, I'm dancing on stage, it's cold, it's winter, and I have pneumonia from dancing in no clothes, throughout the winter. And I am having a conversation with a man at the bar in between my dance set, in which he's going, "Why are you here? You're obviously so, you're just not like this place very much. Your vibe is different." And I'm like, I'm powerless. I have to be here. That's what I say. He says, "You are not. You're full of it." I'm like, "Yes, I am. I'm powerless." He goes, "Why are you powerless?" I say, because the reason I'm here is because I'm so damn dyslexic that I have lost like 5 jobs in a row. Now, this is true. And there is a real challenge to being dyslexic in this world. Like, I think I'm fired right now from this job I've really enjoyed, which was just being bussing tables at the Gypsy Apple. Like, come on, like, couldn't you just do that? But see, the dyslexia is weird because it kicks in. Like, you can overcompensate and survive, right? And okay, this is my left hand. I know that because I write with this hand, and I know that. But when the dyslexia kicks in, it kicks in over like stress, or when I'm exhausted or really, really excited, like super high, ungrounded, or and if I have all three of those going on, then suddenly the dyslexia kicks in to such a level where the other night at the Gypsy Apple, everything was swimming. Every placemat, every knife, nothing would stay in place. I couldn't tell the direction I was supposed to place anything. You know, at fancy restaurants, every knife, everything has to be placed in its exact way, the way the setting is supposed to be at a fancy restaurant at the table. And some things get even more and more bizarre. Like, I have been on this thing of eating with my hands for a couple months because everything tastes better with my hands. And I'll reverse meanings. So I'm at the fancy restaurant and I've reversed the meaning of forks and hands. And I'm picking up their leftover food with my hands. Like, oh my God. So I'm probably fired, right? Now, at that time, when I ended up as a stripper, I had been fired from 3 restaurants. Each one I lasted about 2 weeks, though, I have to say. But, you know, the insane things I'll do, like at the Gypsy Apple the other night, I brought the leftovers to a table where they hadn't even had their first course. I brought somebody else's leftovers. Then that table ate the leftovers, and the other table was furious. Then I brought the box over to them, but it had all the food missing and somebody's grubby fingers in it. And now it's like the whole restaurant is like, Eve, this is a 3-star restaurant. How dare you ruin our reputation? Right? Okay, so wait, a really long tangent. Okay, so the point is, what's the point? The point is not when I'm looking, the angels are showing me the screen and they're showing me my impact on planet Earth through the time period of being an exotic dancer, whether or not I was powerless or not, or thought I was, or felt I had no options. When the dream came that there was this huge bull with his ass full of blood about to explode onto me, I knew, and I had pneumonia from dancing, I knew it was the omen from the spirit world saying, enough already. This is toxic masculinity now that you don't need to experience. You experience the divine masculinity in the tantric exchange in this holy way. You need to stop before it gets worse. And I did. I stopped right then. I never went back. But then the angels bring back me sitting on the couch, catching the vomit, and bringing Maria home. And they say, the impact on planet Earth that you had from being an exotic dancer was this moment of catching the vomit and driving a drunk girl home. You saved Maria's life. That's the only reason to have been, you know, that's enough for your lifetime in some ways, but that's definitely enough of an impact from your dancing to say that your time period in that role had a sacred meaning. And even though I would like to think the major sacred meaning was that I was in the Shakti flow and bringing this high energy to the clubs because I wouldn't do any drugs, and I wouldn't, and I was always backstage complimenting my girlfriends and helping them do their hair and having so much fun seeing their beauty. I'd like to think that it was all about me expressing myself, but no, said the angels. The meaning was sitting on the couch, catching vomit, bringing Maria home, even though it made you lost in the city to endanger your own life. So there you are. See what that does for you. See what that does for you. Because when you look at your own life and you're judging things from your successes or your money, or did you have the relationship, or wow, wasn't I great at that time period when I was so handsome and I could ride that motorcycle? That was what that meant. I was so hot and chill. But really, the angels are going to show you a time when you were sitting with your kids when they were sick, and you were stayed up all night long while they were crying, and you were rocking them. And that's actually the greatest success of your life. Much love, darling. Get my book. It's called Eve's Eden, Her Pillars of Existence. It's on Amazon. It's all about magic, true magic stories. And we're in that magic story now where we're bringing back the divine feminine magic for all of us. The divine feminine half of beingness that's been repressed is the only problem causing all problems on earth, is her being missing and demonized. So let's not do that anymore. Let's bring back the feminine with all of our hearts and discover what that magic feminine, who that magical feminine is for you, in you. Okay, you can contact me at Love Life with Eve. I'll never get that email. I won't even ever see it. Okay, evesedenarts@gmail.com. Okay.